Hello, friends. Good morning. I welcome you all in the introduction section of this consumer behavior. Here, we are going to discuss what consumer behavior is. Then, we are going to discuss the various definition given by various marketers. Then, we will discuss the decision-making process in general. And then, we will discuss the role of consumer behavior. What are the various key rules of the consumer behavior? So, let us start with the introduction of consumer behavior. Now, first and foremost, what is consumer behavior? So in order to understand consumer behavior, first understand what is behavior. So when we say behavior, it's a way. It's a way to react, to do a certain things. But in case of consumer behavior, it is all about the buying process. Buying a particular product is not an easy task. There are various mental and physical activities involved in that. And once your mental and physical activity starts, it finally ends with your satisfaction of the need and the desire. So when we talk about the consumer behavior, basically it's a mental and physical activity undertaken to satisfy consumer needs and desires. Why we say it's a mental activity? Because consumer, before making final decisions, there are certain things which happens in their mind. There are certain things like perception. Why I am going to purchase a particular product, it depends upon to what extent I have perceived about that particular product. If in my eyes a product is worth, it satisfy my need, it's give me value system, I will go for that. And if a product and service doesn't give me all these things, I will certainly reject. So it starts with the mental process. Your nerves indicates to your brain, your sensory nerves indicates your brain that these are your needs and these are the features of the product, and your product is matching with your need, so you should go for that. Your product is not matching with your need, you should not go for that. So when we talk about the consumer behavior, is finally a activity involving the mental and physical to satisfy your need and desire. Now, when we say consumer behavior in general, it's also known as the buyer behavior, is referred to the behavior that is displayed by individual while they are buying, consuming, or disposing any particular product or services. When we say disposing in context of consumer behavior, it is also very, very important. If I ask you an example of mineral water, when we talk about the bottle, there are various segments who use water bottle as a dispenser. There are other segments who use it and finally crush it. As a marketer, it is also mandatory for you to understand which segment takes decision in terms of water bottle as a subsequent further use or finally uh, dispose the same. It is very, very necessary for you to understand that behavior of the consumer, right? As I discussed you, basically it involves a mental search. Then you evaluate a particular product, you purchase it, and finally you consume it, right? In consumer behavior, it is also very important how you react after purchasing a particular product. Your post satisfaction matters a lot. Once you are delighted, only then you will convey a positive message regarding your product. And as a marketer, it's very, very necessary for you to understand what your consumer thought about the product, to what extent your customer not only satisfied, they delighted about your product. So it is very, very mandatory for you to understand. Now, Kumar in 2004, defined consumer behavior as a, it's a tool for a marketer to know what, where, when, how, and why of the consumption of products and services. As a marketer, when you know what customer want, where customer want, when customer want, how, the mode of the purchasing a particular pattern, and the reason behind purchasing a particular product. If you understand this 5W and 1H concept is a very basic concept of marketing. So naturally, you would have an edge in terms of your market share, in terms of your sales. So according to Kumar, it's very necessary to understand the 5W1H in context of your particular product. Now, why a marketer understands this? Why there's a need to understand consumer behavior? The reason is it gives consumer, as I told you, the reason behind the purchase of a particular product and service, and how a particular product satisfy and dissatisfy consumer. As a marketer, it is mandatory for you to know. Why we study the consumer behavior? Because the market demand, these are fluctuating, right? Needs and wants of the consumers are also fluctuating. Environmental plays very important role. Because of the environment, consumer can take a favorable decision, can take an unfavorable decision regarding the product. So in order to understand the market demand as well as understand the need and wants of the consumer, it is again necessary for a marketer to understand the consumer behavior. The competition is quite tough. Each and every company, wants to go ahead. They try to do anything which could, make them at the top. And the customer understanding the behavior of consumer is very the starting level of making your profit, making your sales. So once you understand your consumer well, you can make the product in accordance with the need and desire of the consumer, and subsequently you could face the tough competition. You can offbeat the tough competition. And once you go for careful analysis, it also helps you in prediction about the behavior of consumer of a particular product and the service. Now, there are various marketers who defined consumer behavior in different way. And Angel et al., in 95, which defined consumer behavior, is the most accepted, the definition of consumer behavior so far. So first of all, I'm going to tell you what Angel said. Then again, I will tell you the what Schiffman and kind of said about the consumer behavior. So Angel said consumer behavior is those act of individual directly involved in obtaining, using, and disposing of economic goods and services, including the decision process that precedes and determine those acts. If I say the act, basically act is your pre-research process. When you want to obtain something, you want to use it, you want to dispose it, right? There you have to take decision regarding that. And the decision starts with the preconditions, and preconditions are the mental and physical thoughts which comes in your mind. So what mental and physical thoughts come, that is a part of a consumer research process. Of course, that we will discuss in later on. But here, precedes is all about the consumer research process, which a consumer do before purchasing a particular product and service. Now, when we say Schiffman and Kanuk, he defined consumer behavior as consumer display in searching, purchasing, using, and disposing of product, service, and ideas which they fulfill. They expect that will satisfy their need. So again, Schiffman and Angel both talked about almost the same thing, and they mentioned one of the important aspect, that is disposing. So once initially I just told you about the disposing part, and I gave you the examples of the water bottle. So again, as a marketer, it's very mandatory for you to know the entire process of the searching, then evaluating, then purchasing, using, and disposing of even after disposing of a particular product and service, and in fact the ideas. When we say about the ideas, there are various examples of ideas, like when you go for the refrigerator, when you go for the AC, you see there are various flowers, are designed in a such a way that it improves your mood. It gives you a positive vibe once you in the morning, once you see the flowers on your AC, on your TV, on everything. So basically that is a idea we have of company that, okay, if a product is of normal, doesn't look good, but if you make something on that, make design on that, it gives you, a different aspect of the particular product. Second example, if you go for, the LG, the AC, what LG made a perception that it is not only about giving you make you cool, right? It also, removes mosquito, because there are certain repellents, the mention in that AC. So automatically it moves mosquito out. So at one side, the company is telling you that we are making you cool in hot summer, as well as the chikungunya, or all the mosquito related diseases. So we are also stopping the same. So basically it was the idea of the company that to what extent you can give, so many benefits to customer at one go. Now, when we say consumer behavior, this having the two from two different point of view, we will discuss. So this time we are concluding this lecture.